Hey, what's up guys, Jimmy here, welcome back to Mondays here on the Vlog Project. My name is Jimmy and this is Amadio. And yeah, thank you for joining us. So this week's theme is a really fun one. And I say that because it requires me to actually stop, think, and tell a story, which I don't do as often as I should. So Brendan came up with this week's theme, and let me stop right there and say I am not in charge of the vlog projects. I just happen to be the control freak, and I happen to bug everyone to make sure that we actually keep this project going. But anyways, this week's theme, we're talking about childhood memories, vivid childhood memories that we remember very clearly, like if they were yesterday. And this theme, Brendan came up with it. Brilliant theme. This is why I love Brendan. Well, actually, no, I love him because he's awesome. But he's also very creative person. And this topic proves that. On to my story. Now, I'm pretty sure I didn't have a messed up childhood. I promise you. But there's not a lot of stories that are super vivid. I mean, I do remember small, boring stuff. Like, I remember very clearly Christmas morning, my parents bought me, me, as in me, my siblings, but that's me, a Nintendo 64 with Super Mario 64. I remember that Christmas very clearly. I remember my first day of school, kindergarten, and I remember walking with my mom, holding her hand, and this is to show how short I was back then. And I remember walking through the halls of my old elementary school, and her knocking on that door. It was room 5, and the teacher opened the door. She said hi. So I remember small stuff like that. There's a story that I want to share with you guys. It's vivid enough because I do remember it happening, and I do remember most pieces of it, but this is kind of how it went. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, we lived in this apartment complex. Now, we lived in this building up until I turned about 13, almost 14. That's when we moved into this current place. So the way the building was set up, it was a 2-story building. It was all outdoors. So it had a huge kind of patio, which was essentially just a dirt lot kind of, and it had 4 apartments underneath and 4 above, with each apartment having an exit towards the back / side of the building, which led to the actual back of the building. Now, the second floor, aside from having its apartments and having these exits inside each apartment, it had a staircase. Now, this staircase was gated, kind of. It was a door, but it was a gate door, so it had like the bars. And that door was usually locked. And that staircase led to the roof. Now, the only reason I knew that it led to the roof, and the only reason I really knew it was there, because I lived on the first floor. My dad, my parents, they managed this apartment building. One of the neighbors complained that the roof was leaking, and my dad went up there to fix the leak, and I kind of followed him. So that's when I knew what it was. He kind of got upset. He was like, no, go back downstairs, go play your Nintendo. And I did. Later that day, a few friends decided they wanted to play outside. By this point, my dad had his lunch, and he went to work at his regular job. These kids, they said, let's play, and I said okay. And if I remember correctly, it was a game of hide and seek, and as you could probably imagine, I didn't hide in a traditional place, behind a wall, maybe in the side of the building. No, I hid on the roof. I went up that staircase, and the way it was, there were bars. It was unlocked because my dad was working on it that morning, and I guess he either forgot to lock it or just didn't think anyone would actually go up there. And I did. I went up there. I was up there for a while. It felt like it was several hours. I'm sure it was no longer than 15 minutes, but that's what it felt like. And all the kids were kind of running around looking for me. When I finally managed to go down, one of the kids saw me and they snitched. So I got in trouble. From then on, that door was for sure locked. Not sure locked. It was locked for sure, and I was no longer allowed to go up there, even though at that given time I still fit through the bars, regardless of how big my head was. So yeah, that's my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a small piece of my childhood. There are quite a few stories, but it's just one of those things where as soon as you're asked to share these stories, you suddenly forget everything that has ever happened to you. So that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my childhood story. I'm sure everyone else is gonna have a blast sharing their stories. Anyways, thank you guys. I will see you guys next week, maybe? Possibly? Yeah, I'll be here next week. Alright guys, take care.